What I do know is that we've gone now close to 35 minutes, and I've only mentioned Bate once, which he deserves better. So twice. Time to run it up. Rashad Bateman, a career day and a career night under the primetime lights. Could not be happier for number 7. 4 receptions, 121 receiving yards, a touchdown, 4 targets. He caught all 4 balls his way, including a long of 59. But on the 49-yard touchdown pass to Bateman, Lamar's traveled 58.3 yards in the air. It's his 4th longest completion of his career and the longest since week 12 of 2022. He's accounted for Lamar's 3 longest completions so far this season, according to Next Gen Stats. And Rashad is starting to stack games. He is more, or at least last night he was, more than just a complimentary piece to Todd Monken's offensive puzzle. It's the improvisation when Lamar does what he does to extend a play. Rashad's doing the exact same thing, kind of reminiscent, similar to what Mark Andrews and Lamar have built over the years, right? They refer to it fondly as street ball. You can refer to it as backyard ball, improv ball, whatever it is. Bate was willing to do that last night. And this is a player that feels as if he's reached a point of just comfort and confidence. And he's channeling that into on-field production. And I think what we all kind of called for this offseason, given the extension and the fact that he is going to be in Baltimore through 2026, if he can emerge and be over a 700, 800 plus yard receiving guy for you as a true number 2, which we all know that he has the capabilities and abilities of being, then wow, what a luxury that would be for an offense that has the deepest tight end room in the league, that has the most dynamic backfield in the league, and maybe, just maybe, the most dynamic quarterback in the entire league. Bateman continuing to do what he's doing right now. Silky smooth routes, creating separation, reliably catching the football. These are the type of things that's going to put this offense over the top. And I can only imagine how satisfying it must be for number 7 now that it's all starting to come together. How about his teammate 89 and a beautiful toe tap along the left-hand sideline? Oh, this was textbook from Mark Andrews. Looking real nimble on that play. That was not the only thing that went in Mark Andrews' favor. He had 2 touchdowns on the evening, 4 receptions for 41 yards. He was targeted 4 times and caught all 4 of them. But most notably, he now stands alone atop the franchise with the most career receiving touchdowns in team history, with 42 of them, which broke a tie with the great Todd Heap, who had 41. And of course, Mark tied him the week prior against the Commanders. Mark is now 1 touchdown shy of tying Ray Rice for the second most overall touchdowns in team history. And of course, he's chasing right now the all-time leader, which is owned by Jamal Lewis with 47. 89 talked post-game about the honor itself.
Obviously, incredibly grateful, and just thinking back, you got to think about getting drafted to this incredible organization with a. I've been blessed with incredible teammates. Obviously, number 8, and having that connection, but I'm fortunate to have incredible teammates, unselfish guys, and just keep on going. I'm coaches, players, everybody, and you got to look back at the guys like Todd Heap and the guys that have done it before you, and just be grateful that I'm in this situation and blessed. And like you said, just taking it week by week. I'm not satisfied.
89 with a very similar approach, the one that he's taken since the moment he showed up here from Oklahoma. Of course, going up against his former Oklahoma running mate in Baker Mayfield and getting obviously winning that battle last night in Tampa Bay. But this is a guy who, through the first opening month of the season, a lot of people were questioning his health. Folks were questioning his role, his future. And a lot of that talk has been died down since the Ravens really have gotten him involved directly with the football. But the beauty of it is when he wasn't directly involved, he was indirectly affecting the game as a willing blocker, right? Somebody whose sheer presence alone has to be accounted for from a defensive coordinator's perspective. And so now that it's all starting to come around full circle for Mark, he's starting to stack games. He's finding the end zone twice last night. He's toe tapping on the sidelines, right? He's making the tough contested catches with blanketed coverage on him that we've grown accustomed to seeing when it comes to 89's game. It's just, again, there are so many layers to this offense, and the architect of it all probably should be talked about more. And that is Todd Monken, who's getting contributions from what about the offensive line? You got to mention that as well. That's a part of certainly a part of the puzzle. And despite those 2 sacks that Lamar found himself in the middle of on that opening drive, which stalled things, those were the only 2 sacks the entire night. A rough rep there for Roger Rosengarten on the first on second down, and then of course on third down, a failed blitz pickup. And you're thinking to yourself, geez, this could be a long night. This defensive front from Tampa Bay is wreaking havoc on that opening drive, but credit the Ravens. They did not panic, and they certainly didn't panic with yet another 10-point deficit, which they've seen often at times throughout this year, particularly in Cincinnati with those 3 separate 10-point deficits that they faced in the second half alone, right? But look at what Ronnie individually is doing. He didn't allow a single pressure on 26 pass blocking snaps against Tampa's blitz-heavy defense. This is next-gen stats. Stanley has yet to allow a sack this season across 224 pass blocking snaps. He's the only left tackle with 50-plus pass blocking snaps and 0 sacks allowed. What a tremendous year. After the pay cut from this offseason, his future in Baltimore, as of right now, is uncertain after this year. And yet, he's putting together, dare I say, yet another Pro Bowl caliber season at left tackle, protecting Lamar Jackson's blind side. He's talking his shit out there. He's healthy. He looks like himself. He's always willing to run and be mobile and get to that second level and open up different lanes. He's pulling. He's always been a force of nature at the point of attack. And I can't tell you how encouraging it is to see Ronnie Stanley at a point where health becomes a calling card of his, because that has not always been the case. He hired a mental coach this past offseason, as he told the guys on the lounge. And between the ears, he's got to be, I'm sure that has to be a part of the puzzle here for where he is and the turnaround that we're watching. He won't get comeback player of the year consideration around the league nationally just because he's a offensive lineman. But I think here in Baltimore, we can absolutely have that conversation, acknowledge him, acknowledge the will, the fortitude, the resiliency. Good on you, Ronnie, and congratulations, because We all know his presence and his impact at left tackle, given his stature, given his mobility, given his sheer talent and experience, having been one of the longest tenured players on this team, is all paramount to where they want to go and where they want to be. Super chats. I appreciate you guys for being with me. I'm about to share with you, once we transition, what Ed Reed had to say about the Ravens defense. Pulled no punches on the Manning cast last night. Both he and Joe Flacco joined Eli and Peyton, by the way. Santiago says, can we compare Pat and Brady and Peyton and Lamar? Too soon? Tom has the rings. Peyton has the countless recorder and fear, at least when Peyton retired. Can we compare Pat and Brady and Peyton and Lamar? I think it's a little bit too soon, being that Peyton won a couple bowls. It's a little bit too soon, but I see where you're going with that. And obviously, Peyton and Lamar have been compared here in the early going because Peyton's postseason career started out very, very similarly to the way in which Lamar Jackson's has. Thank you for the super chat. Rob says, if we look at the close to 30-year history of the Ravens, I can't say another team has had more potential Hall of Fame players during that period. There's quite a few. Marshall Yanda is going to be one. Steve Smith Sr. Is Anquan going to get in? Anquan might have a chance. Ray, Ed, J.O., Lamar down the line, King Henry down the line. Who else? John Harbaugh will probably be one down the line. And one more there from Rob. Salute Bobby Baltimore. I'm a supporter of the team, for better or worse. Appreciate you, Rob, for both of those super chat donations. And Santiago, same to you. Appreciate you guys for being here.